Hi, and welcome to Lynes on Design. It's not often that we have a cast of characters here to talk, but we thought today would be a wonderful time to talk with you, David, about from Superior HVAC.
Character number one.
Woo! Exactly. Yeah, character number one, character number two.
I'm here to learn.
Yeah, I mean, well, I tell you what, and we're all here to learn because it's been sort of an interesting week for us. We've come off of Hurricane Matthew last year and Hurricane Irma this year, and it's really important when you don't have your HVAC to start learning about what we could and couldn't do. And our director, Jeremy, also was like, okay, I got 10 questions for you. So we thought, why not? We're going to make this a Lynes on Design. Talk to us about what we could and should and need to know in case of storms or emergencies.
Before the storm comes.
Yeah, not after, because we got stories for that one too.
Well, that's a loaded question, I would imagine. When it comes to your air conditioning, you know, it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
You know, if it's running and you have a power outage or a brownout, which are the worst for appliances, you know, when a brownout is basically not quite, the power's gone out, and it's not quite on, so it's kind of like
surging
lights are
back
dimming,
and forth.
or so they call it a brownout, and that kills things because they're going to try to operate and just can't do it, and so it ends up killing motors and things like that.
I didn't know that because oftentimes I'll see my lights flicker and things like that. That's a bad thing.
Flicker is kind of, well, no, flicker's very a sign of brownout. You know, even we had some bad storms before Irma, and I remember we had sort of like a brownout happening here, and I came running down the stairs trying to get to the breaker box so I could shut everything off.
Should you unplug everything?
You know, I go to the breaker box and shut everything off.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you see that first sign?
Yeah, just because if it's, you know, we saw the lights coming on and off, and that's when, you know, when your computer shuts off and then tries to come right back on, and then, so that's, just no good.
Bad juju. Okay.
So, you know, yes, keeping your system off is good, but if you don't lose power, and you're out for a while, then not having your air conditioning on isn't always that good either, because you want to kind of circulate in that air, especially if it's hurricane season. It's going to be warm out and humid.
Sure.
So, and kind of to double back on our idea with the smart thermostats and things like that we were talking about earlier or the other day, that could help in a situation where you could, you know, turn the system off and then turn it back on.
Yeah, even if you had already evacuated.
Right.
Exactly. We were talking about changing out your thermostat to a smart thermostat and what the advantages of that would be. And what you're saying now is you would have a little more control.
Right. For one, you can't control them once the power goes out, but it will tell you that your power went out. You know, you'll get an alert telling you that we lost connectivity. And then it'll tell you when the power comes back on. So at least you know what's happening at your house and if you had the power or not.
Let me ask you a dumb question, because I think what happens, like we got flooded in Irma, and it's just a beep mess.
Right.
I mean, it really is. And my husband was like, okay, you know, we lost our washer and dryer. We know that.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah. Not without my dryer, I'm like not okay.
But that fell on deaf ears.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, are you okay? Oh.
The washer and dryer. Come on, I was being a chauvinist. That was hilarious.
I was being a chauvinist. Notice that went right like this. Yes. Okay, exactly. You're bad.
Hey, well, you set them up, I'm going to knock them down.
That's true. That's good. I can live with that. See, this is why we like Lynes on Design, right? Exactly. But here's the thing. We're worried about the HVAC because we flooded in our big, whatever that's.
Service yard?
Yes.
Yep.
Underwater.
Sure.
So, what do we do proactively?
That's
and can you
what
come
is that called? Not a brownout.
And can you come today?
Right. That's a tough one too. The problem you have is that some systems will come back online when they got inundated with water. And you may not show signs of things going wrong until later. So that kind of stinks. And there's not a lot you can do. But I can promise you a submerged system for a decent amount of time is never going to be right again, even if it starts back up, unfortunately.
And that's what we talked about. Our cars were underwater. You know, not underwater, but enough that it was like close.
Sure.
And so today it's like, get it washed, but salt water.
Oh, yeah.
Floods are gross, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
What other things do you recommend we do to prepare for the winter? What about servicing? Is that something that you encourage?
Sure. We definitely encourage servicing before winter to make sure the system's going to operate the way you want it to operate. definitely a plus. We also will burn some of the dust and debris off of your heat elements so that you don't get that crazy smell in the middle of the night when it runs for the first time.
Because some of us are not good washers and dryers. And so we would prefer someone else to do it.
Right.
Just saying, I'm listening now. I have my ears on.
That's right. But yeah, you know, servicing was good. Definitely, because the dirty systems cost more to operate. Finding problems before they happen is great. We don't wave a wand over it and say we're here, it's never going to break.
Right.
But we find problems before they happen, and you know, hopefully get those repaired before they're an uncommon.
What's the average life of a good HVAC system right now, and how do we know the right system for us?
Sure. We're in a salt environment, so anything that's going to handle salt is going to last longer. There's a couple brands out there that have outdoor units made more of aluminum, which is not corrosive the way copper is and things like that. So that's a positive feature to some brands. Keep them clean, get that salt off them.
So there are things that the person can do in order to prolong the life?
Sure. I mean, if you don't have somebody coming out to service them, or even if you do and you're like front row ocean, go ahead and rinse down the outdoor units. You know,
really?
Yeah. I mean, they get rained on,
that makes sense.
but a hose would, you know, just get that salt off there. The salt stays, and that's just really where the problem is.
It just corrodes the whole thing.
You guy just sits there and just slowly starts.
Is there
away.
an average length of time that is?
There is 10 to 15 years in our environment. You can get 25 years out of the same equipment somewhere else.
Well, have you heard of people doing?
Sure. Oh yeah. And you know, my family is like my family is like myself. We're all very sarcastic, and so my uncle from New Jersey called me the other day and was like, "Man, it's a sad day. I had to replace my air conditioner. It was only 26 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And I just, you know, if you could see the look I was getting him through the phone. But
Sounds like a record.
Yeah, his systems are not on the coast.
Yeah.
And he's got a air conditioner, and then in the wintertime he's got a furnace. Whereas we have heat pumps. So our heat pump is running in the summer, running in the winter, running in the salt air, and running so much because of humidity. We did some calculations. This time it wasn't the experts, you know, I actually did some calculations, so it wasn't expertly done, but...
it was expertly done, it just wasn't evidence-based.
Exactly. Well, it was evidence-based, but...
It was a small population.
You got it.
Right, okay.
So we ended up finding out that your systems...
This is tough group, huh?
Very.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
leaving.
Stay quiet.
No, you gotta stay. See, that's why they put you there.
That's fine. Yeah, so I can't get out?
Yeah,
on the buffer.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, so yes, so we found out that in the summertime, your air conditioner does the equivalent run time of putting 75,000 miles on your car.
Oh, is that true?
And that's just in the summer. So that's a lot of run time. So you take that, you take the salt, you take the humidity, and you take that we do the heating and cooling. You know, people are like, it only lasted 10 years. I'm like,
that's 700.
that's amazing.
That's pretty good.
You know?
Yeah. That's actually a great way to describe it, where I could wrap my arms around what that really means.
I think so many people move, though, from the north. Maybe their expectations are not realistic.
Right.
So they have to recalibrate their
Well, my
minds.
husband does home inspecting. And it's so funny because, you know, your air conditioning can be working one day, but if it's looking like it's 8, 9, 10 years old, or even, you know, be prepared because I don't care exactly for the reasons you say.
And that's our biggest double-edged sword that we deal with in our business, because you come to us as professionals, we come to you to give you our professional opinions, and if a system is 10 years old and has a repair that's more than a couple $100, we're going to tell you, hey, you should probably replace
Encourage it, yes.
And you know, and we have some customers that are like, oh no, you know, when it's
don't rip me off, I don't need a new one.
Right. And some of those customers, they might get 3 more years out of it. You know, but then if we didn't recommend it and the next summer it fails, they're like, well, why didn't you tell me? I would have handled this last year.
That's exactly right.
So you can't ever be right. You know?
And you can, and I think that is a conundrum for everything. I have found that if I do replace it, it does make sense. I really, honest. No, I've learned. I swear, every time I'll put $400. Absolutely.
9 times out of 10, in anything in life, when you really go out of your way to try to save that extra buck or make it, usually backfires. You know.
It usually backfires.
You know,
so right.
It's
it is what it is.
Right.
I really appreciate you joining us. It's fun.
Me too.
We'll be back here on Lines on Design. Stay with us.